What is up, everybody? This is RybackStun. We are here with Cable on the live servers. I decided to make a build video for this character, and you'll notice something significantly different than what I said in my earlier Cable video, and that definitely is a Scimitar. Because the Askani'son build is freaking awesome, and it's actually working better than the Chrono Soldier build for me. So I do have an armored cyborg costume. The build isn't 100% complete in terms of gear and omegas, obviously, because I'm not omega capped, and I don't have one of the items that I mentioned in a build that you'll see in the link down below in the description. But it works functionally. I've passed the Cosmic Trial, I've beaten up Cosmic bad guys, I've been into Cosmic Midtown, and I've only died once. So, and that just procced my lovely revive. But quickly, we'll go ahead and go through the gear. Starting right off the bat, we have a Blessed Armor Nano Poison, Fighting, Health Regen, and when you melee attack, you get Brutal Strike and Brutal Damage, which stacks up to 3 times, plus 1 to all powers. All of this is really helpful, especially the health regeneration per minute. Even though it doesn't add up to a lot of regeneration per second, every little bit counts. Next, we got a Gem of the Cursed. Values are clearly not, maximum 16% on brute damage, 38% on crit damage. But, critical hit rating is perfect, and brutal strike rating is 89%, which is perfectly fine with me. Also, Gila. I have a Blessed Mayhem Demon Blood with health melee powers, damage rating melee powers, and 10% chance to gain a stack of Bloodlust. 10 stacks, you get 2 fighting, 2 speed. This procs often with how much I'm attacking. Right now, I have a Zerogen Crystal, and this is taking the place of an Iron Legion Armor Sheath, because the intelligence gives crit, it gives health, and I believe it gives brutal strike. It might be brutal damage, I'm not entirely sure, but it's a lot of good stats. For Medallion, I'm running Curse. At some point, I'll probably switch to Dr. Doom, but this is, decent for what it is. I get brutal, crit hit, damage rating to melee powers, I get physical defense rating, and then nothing else that matters, plus 2 powers. Right now I'm using Relics of Asgard. If you want, you can use Relics of Atlantis. My Atlantis is on my main, which is Dr. Doom, at 1,000 right now, so once I build up another stack of, a couple hundred of them, I'll start sticking them on somebody else who might need them, such as Cable. Next I have Storm Giant Magi. Now a lot of people are using Power Dupe because you can trigger different things. Some people are using God of Mischief for the extra powers. Screw all that noise. I want Storm Giant Magi because it gives me Spirit, Power Duration, chance to grow to increase 4 ranks to all my powers, and then just straight mental damage, which is pretty cool. Running a level 70 Gungnir at some point in time when I get the Odomarks to do so, I'll probably switch over to Warlock's Eye. Although there's something about having a Gungnir and being a guy that uses a Scimitar that makes me think, like, I wish I could swap the item, the avatar image, and make it actually look like the Gungnir. Industry City Signet, mental damage. You can use a melee Industry City Signet as well if you want, or you can use a Midtown Signet because I do dash around a lot with the Swift Lunge. And then in terms of uniques, I've got the Scimitar with Fighting challenge bonus on it. I've got the Askani'son Battlesuit. I've got Forge's Bionic Arm Harness, Dominus Objective System, and a Portal's Helmet. This is really good for a slot 5 because it gives you brute, crit, health, brute damage, spirit, regen, fighting, and then plus to all powers, which is awesome. Costume-wise, all crit damage. Right now I'm only rolling regen and health regeneration per minute. At some point in time I'm going to try to get regen and invuln, if not regen and LOH. Running a Taskmaster with health and brutal damage on it. At some point I want to get something that has melee damage on it, which helps a lot, but this is pretty cool in and of itself. And then in terms of Old Lace, it's going to be health, spirit, either plus to mental damage or plus to melee damage, or if I get lucky and get 10% brutal damage, I'll keep that. I have plus 2 ranks to ultimate powers right now. That's actually the best in terms of what else I can get. I can do plus 1 to all powers, but when you see what my powers look like now, and with the fact that these uniques are not completely maxed out, you'll understand why I'm not using plus to melee powers or stuff like that. And then plus 2 fighting. I don't feel like fighting this system until they make it better. So plus 2 fighting is good right now. Using Pirate Deadpool, easy enough. 15 shoot all the bullets, 12 boom goes the dynamite, 15 catch, 15 server lag, 1 bang for your buck, 1 look at what I can do, and 1 snap traps. Power-wise, we have, I have 3 ranks in Quick Body Slide because that was the extra points that I had left over. I have 20 points in Scimitar Slice, this is your basic attack. I have 20 points in Scimitar Sweep. This is one of your AoE attacks. Swift Lunge, you use this before you use Scimitar Sweep, so this can go on cooldown for 4 seconds instead of 8 seconds. It also is one of your damage layers. Impaling Thrust is a big hit cooldown, 8-second cooldown, a lot of damage on it. Foresight Bomb is your mental damage signature. It's a taunt, bomb timer is 3 seconds. It's a pretty cool amount of damage here. Next we have Veteran Warrior, which is your passive that gives you damage rating, crit hit rating, crit damage rating, movement speed, and then it also gives you actively vulnerability and weaken for 9.9 seconds. It goes up to 10 per seconds with your ranks in it. But you'll notice I've got 50 points in that already. Once I get my uniques in a way where they're giving me all the points possible, this entire tree except for Quick Body Slide will all be at 50. And then Scimitar Slam for your big melee damage cooldown that's used alongside Impaling Thrust, and then plus 25% damage to Askani'son powers for 10 seconds. I've got 20 points in Techno-Organic Virus, which will give me regen per second. Spirit when I'm not using Spirit Spending powers. Damage negation is 10%, 20% due to Askani Discipline. We've got defense rating pretty high, regen, invuln, and then when you're below 40% health, you get a 25% damage per shield. Regenerate more health per second, buff duration is 8 seconds, cooldown is 40 seconds, and then 1 point in telekinetic repulsion for the dodge rating, tenacity, projectile deflection chance, and the melee damage against enemies in melee range. In terms of hero synergy, we've got Cable, Doctor Doom, Ghost Rider, Jean Grey, Loki, Nightcrawler, Psylocke, Squirrel Girl, War Machine, and Wolverine for all the little cool different things you get there. Now, the Omega system is going to look a little weird right off the bat. 10 out of 10, we've got Spin Tech. That's what everybody does. You'll notice I have a bunch of powers up top, but I'll explain each of them individually. Shadow King's Possession is 10 out of 20 because you get the extra Brutal Strike and Brutal Strike crit hit. 3 points of Master Telepath because it adds 3% mental damage. 1 point in this because it gives me 60 health, but I'm considering putting more points into this once I get the points for it. I have 20 points in this so I can get some crit damage rating as well as the damage rating for mental attacks. It's a little expensive for what it does, but it also gives me crit damage on top of it, so that's why I take it. No Zero Genesis, I don't feel like it's worth it for this character specifically. 10 out of 10 in Tactical Neural Implant, melee crit hit rating, and crit damage. And then I also have Cerebro, which reduces my defense rating by 1200, but it gives me 600 damage rating to mental attacks, which is awesome. Next, and I believe this is the last year we have powers, and 25 out of 25 in Blob because I like the extra defense and health. 4 out of 10 in Psylocke for the base damage on mental and physical attacks because we move around a lot. 5 out of 10 on Chamber for base mental damage. 1 out of 1 for Professor X giving base damage for every 50 points. So I believe I'm getting 18% additional damage based on that. 5 out of 10 in Warpath for 5 fighting. And that is all she wrote. So let's go ahead and do a quick Taskmaster run. Actually, no, Curse, because that's what we've been doing lately. Just so we can show you what this build is actually capable of. So, I'll go ahead and rush into these guys really quick. You'll notice how I'm taking down, the mobs fairly quickly. It's interesting because I leveled this build and the range build, and the range build was significantly worse than what I was being able to deal with in the melee build. Like I was able to crush red terminals while leveling up at all level branches with the Askani'son build, but not with the Chrono Soldier build. It's not that the Chrono Soldier build is bad, and trust me, I want the Chrono Soldier build to be good. It's just, it happens to be that this build just happens to have the extra capacity to be able to deal damage, take damage, and just say all around screw you. I didn't have to use my ultimate against Madam Hydra in the Cosmic Trial. I really didn't even have to use it against Red Skull, but I did anyway just so that I could use it. And I was taking chunks out of Madam Hydra without really even trying, and just going from there. So basically our rotation is Q for the Veteran Warrior, F for the Scimitar Slam, S for the Thrust, the Swift Lunge, excuse me, right-click for Scimitar Sweep, and then Lunge and Scimitar Slam on cooldown. And you want to always try to lunge and sweep together, so that way you can get the cooldown protection on it, and you have one dead curse. So there's that. Pretty easy, pretty fun to do, to take on, to deal with the enemies that are in the area. And I can easily see this Cable being, Right now, top dog is Dr. Doom, and Nova is number 2, but I can easily see Cable slipping in on that number 3 slot. So, that is my Cable build. If you guys have any questions, feel free to leave them in the comments below. I don't have the Inferno points, but if I did, I really would just put them into Quick Body Slide to reduce the spirit cost until they fix that and give spiritless travel powers for everybody. And then I'll probably end up putting them in telekinetic repulsion. So, things could change around. You guys can change up Omegas and do more points into fighting. You guys could end up with more points into intelligence if you want. You can go Supreme Intelligence and then Overmind's Power to get a bunch of that. You can do Psionic Overload if you want. You can even go into Phoenix Force for the plus 10 energy if you feel you need to. Zero Genesis always is a good node. You can do Combat Rorschach Training if you need it. But I like the way that I have my character built, and I think he's going to be a great character to have in my repertoire of tunes. So hope you guys enjoyed this video as much as I did showcasing it to you. Remember to like and comment on the video, subscribe to the channel, follow me on Twitch, Twitter, and Tumblr at RybackStun. More videos as they come along, and with that, this is RybackStun, signing out.